It's race day. Welcome, race fans, to a showcase of driving perfection. My name's Webbo, and let's get down trackside. Hold on tight, we're gonna go for it. Boom, that's how it's done. Whoa, easy. Surely not all the way around the outside. Oh yeah, we're cooking now. Shake and bake, baby, shake and bake. This is a roller coaster of emotions. The drivers are pushing their machines to the limit and beyond. Woo, it doesn't get any better than that. We wait for the lights, the revs build and so does the excitement. And it's drop the clutch and go, go, go! Okay, driver, it's hammer time. This driver is an artist and the racetrack is their canvas. Did you see that? Did you see that? Wow! Let's watch it again. Ooh, hopefully they'll get away with that one. What a great start, and it looks like we can build on this now and really make a good race of it. There's the fastest lap, folks. No mercy on the menu today. Yeah, sideways is rarely ever faster, but you do get style points. And we roll the safety car dice. Leave them alone. They know what they're doing. Oh no, someone's gone bowling into turn one. What a shocker. Moving left, jinking right, keep them guessing. Lawn mowing as a side gig. And we go down the inside, Danny Rick style. We're on the edge of our seats here, folks. The racers are pushing their limits, risking it all for that coveted first place position and the all-important win. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The two cars ahead are fighting with each other. It's slowing them down. And through we go. That driver is a complete and total. A word has not been invented to describe how complete and total they are. But they are one, and a complete and total one at that. And it all comes down to this, the final lap. If you smell what this driver is cooking. This seems like as good a time as any to ask if you subscribed yet. There's your Grand Slam, pole, fastest lap, and the win!
Welcome everybody to League of Destruction. My name's Webbo and here to take you through night 4, the next 2 races of our 5-night 10-race championship here, with a little bit of a difference to what you may be used to in terms of league racing. This is when we take all the rules away and we have a bit of fun. So I hope that everybody has grabbed themselves a drink. We strongly encourage drink driving here on Simracing platforms only, but especially on League of Destruction. Definitely adds to the spice and the fun. I haven't actually got one in time here. I was too busy sorting everything out. But anyway, great to have everybody joining us. Very, very nice to hear from everyone and to say hello in the chat if you're with us. Hi to Atsu, who's ready to get underway. We're going to go straight into one-shot qualifying. 2 races tonight. Mexico, it seems, in at least a little bit of rain, if not full rain, followed by a night race at the imposing and difficult and incredibly quick and tight and twisty Jeddah Corniche circuit. So looking forward to that one. I'll talk to you about the standings, but we'll go into qualifying any moment, waiting for everybody to get readied up. Often we end up sitting in the paddock for a few minutes anyway. Remember, there's cash prizes. There's a prize pot of, I think, 130 euros for the winning team after all 5 nights, 10 individual races. And the team will get to decide how to split the revenue. And in that team standing, VCARB lead on 155 to Mercedes 141. Red Bull have 137. 1 point only ahead of Stake Sauber in 4th on 136. Aston Martin have 131. Alpine 121. Williams 114. Haas 110. And Ferrari and McLaren, in a somewhat topsy-turvy chain of events, are joint last on 107 points. El Plan leads our championship right now by 5 points, and El Plan will have the bounty on his head of 15 bonus points. If he survives race 1, he will actually be able to take those 15 points for himself, but it's going to be pretty difficult. So he will have the bounty on his head. Anyone who provides proof of the kill will gain 15 points. Alpha Alex has 102, so he's pretty close by in second place. Bjordebor, our previous most hunted driver, is actually joint third with Ashtube on 93 points and will be relieved to be able to drive with a little bit less pressure on his shoulders. Milan has 91 points in 5th. Luke Racer 78 in 6th. Bra has 73 with Betty on 62. Atsu 61 in 9th. Floyd Pink has 59 in 10th. And then we have our drivers who have perhaps not shown up quite as often as everybody. And we also have our league owner, Ricky Maru, down there, who's been trying to play Hitman throughout the course of this and has had mixed success, shall we say, in making those outright kills. So we look forward to seeing if Ricky can manage to move himself up his own league standings as we tick down towards one-shot qualifying for this Grand Prix. Mexico will have some opportunities for corner cutting. I'm intrigued as to what the drivers are going to do in the stadium section at the end of the lap, most definitely. But certainly on track F1, the drivers have shortcutted turn 1 into turn 3. And sometimes missed out turn 4 or 5. So let's get trackside. Let's have a look at how our drivers are going to tackle this one. We'll ride on board with Ricky Maru to start with, I think, as he is powering down this long straight. I can imagine a lot of side swiping is going on down here as Ole has managed to retire the car before hitting the brakes for the first time. Big shortcut then from Ricky Maru, who powers into currently 6th position, goes very, very wide, and we'll see how he gets on as other drivers have found faster ways through this circuit as he manages to upset the car balance and get the car braked heavily into what is officially the double right of turn 6. He's now in 3rd position, and now we've got the switchback, which is difficult enough to stay on the tarmac, but he's managing to shortcut a lot of this. There goes the polystyrene markers, and we'll leave detritus across the circuit, and down towards that stadium section we go. Big shortcut to start with. Then it's a case of drawing all over with the tyres, the F1 24 advert on the infield as Ricky Maru comes out of the final corner. Of course, you'll have dirty cold tyres as you go across. He's third, a 102.0. Milan, though, a 101.5, ahead of Loop Racer, 101.6 for those first laps. And no one has gone around Circuito Melnas Rodriguez quite that quickly before and got away with it anyway. So Ricky then on the second row, and he'll be pleased enough about that. But let's see. Ricky's saying no bounty. I think that might be a message from me. Have we decided to cancel the bounty? Well, that would be news. We have a zombie-fied driver, Milan, in the Mercedes overalls there. In first position, 1/10 of a second ahead of Loop Racer, with Ricky Maru and Ash Tube, as previously mentioned. Topaz debuting with us here in 5th, with Atsu in 6th, MC Hopi in 7th. We have Alpha Alex in 8th, and Betty in 9th, with Flo Pink in 10th. Leo is 11th, Nike is 12th. We have Bra, Mercked, Beyond a Bore, Ultra Mies, and at the back of the grid at the moment, Ollie. And good evening to Jessica, who is wishing the lads well, and I'm sure chief among them, Floyd Pink. The rain is teeming it down in Mexico. I imagine that will be turning into steam pretty soon with the normal temperatures they have there in Mexico City. So we shall see how that affects the visibility going into some of these corners. Certainly going to add a great deal of treachery to this fantastic League of Destruction. Like I said, we really enjoy this racing style. It's a time to let off a bit of steam after a serious bunch of league racing that a lot of our drivers do together in various forms, but certainly on a Sunday night we see many of these drivers on the International Racing League on this channel, and you can catch that 8 p.m. UK time. And we look forward to round 3 coming up this weekend of the new 4th season 10 race championship. Jess says, drive like there's sunshine. That's a new version of Dance Like Nobody's Watching, isn't it, Jess? So we look forward to seeing how the drivers cope with the conditions and the circuit here today. Remember, we usually wait for the red lights, but as soon as we get up to 5, the drivers go anyway, and peeling across the start. Let's see if we can get anybody having an initial poor getaway. So far, everybody managing to get away nicely here. So and we are 5 wide at one point down the main straight as we take our different lines into the first corners, and the Haas both doing tandem fishtail slides, which I do enjoy. I do like a bit of a slide situation as the Haas drivers need to avoid each other. There's several bits of debris of Red Bull of all sorts, and that's a Red Bull, certainly Ash Tube getting into it with the Haas drivers again, and now being sideswiped by a Kick Sauber of Topaz, who gets himself into the lead. Perhaps not for very long though, as we go round, and there goes Ash Tube. Turning way off the circuit, trying to find a good line through the corner. We've had retirements already of Ole and Leo. Leo was dreading this in the rain in the driver chat room right from the outset. But remember, our bounty, 15 points for the leader as the first bollard goes begging there in the stadium section. We have a 25%, which equals an 18-lap race. This Milan is way out in front at the moment, and the Haas drivers, Ricky Maru and Atsu, getting a decent lead right now, and that's not always been the case. So we'll see if the Ferrari drivers, well, there's only one Ferrari driver left in League of Destruction at this moment. The Alpine of Loop Racer dives down the inside, and he's been very, very smooth getting that move done. Has Loop Racer into 4th position now overall. Pit stops for Ash Tube, MC Hoppy and Brat down at the back of the order as Leo the Scot tunes in. Leo the Scot, the Rangers fan, tunes in already as Mercked down in 7th is all on his own. There's some debris, but remember, we don't pick up debris in F1 anymore. We leave it out there for the fun. And to see what can end up occurring. You've never seen Mexico look this bad, have you? In league racing. So good to see a different side of Mexico City as Betty and Bjorn de Boer in the V-Carbs, who lead the championship at the moment, are in 10th and 11th position, not really splitting their intentions or their current strategy. And we've got the Aston Martins, who in the previous season made a great deal of fun about running around at the back almost the entire season. There goes Milan getting the tail out once again on the way into turn 1. So that was nicely done by him. El Plan is our bounty, is our championship leader at the moment. So he will not be wiped out because, of course, he leads the championship and he's not here tonight. So it's the best option we've seen so far. Here are the Aston Martins causing trouble and unfortunately causing their own end down into turn 6 and trying to reverse down the circuit, as now we've got Bra cutting the corner, trying to swipe across the front bow of the Ferrari, but unfortunately just mistiming it, so it didn't quite work. Ultrame's out. That joining our 2 other retirees already from this session, but they'll get another chance in just a few laps' time to take part. Here go the Haas drivers, just going side by side, the 2 brothers, Atsu and Ricky Maru, and I think they're causing a bit of a roadblock here together, running side by side and stopping anybody from making a clean overtake past them. We shall see if they continue to run at the front here, perhaps just building a gap right now. No required pit stop as a result of the fact that they are on wet tyres, so the sim platform does not require a pit stop or tyre change from the drivers, and they'll be pleased about that. But there is Ricky Maru out. How on earth did Ricky Maru go when he was alone with his own teammate? I wonder if he made an attempt at someone else's life and missed again. But Atsu up to 2nd position. This is on board with Loop Racer as he tries to catch out the one remaining Haas car. And Ricky might stop by in one of our chat spaces, either the driver room in Discord or here in the live chat, just to let us know who took him out. But we shall have a good look and try and get that news to you. One of my favourite moments in watching back some of the other drivers' replays after the race last race that we held in just about 11 days ago, was discovering that we had a driver who peeled to the right-hand side in Monza as he crossed the line, and someone followed him and got themselves invalidated on the lap. So that was interesting. Ricky crashed solo into the wall. Oh, that's terrible, he says in the live chat. Crashed all by himself. And there's some more debris on the circuit. Beyond a Bore is out there at the moment, just checking in, see if anybody is being particularly naughty. Bra is out. That's both Aston Martins now, plus Ricky, Ollie and Leo. But this then is Betty heading through the stadium section. A very different prospect for the drivers this circuit now that they are running in the wet compared to that qualifying session. The Ferrari is in the pits of Merck the Merciless, who leads the championship in that international racing league I was talking about, and is the reigning world champion. But of course, you wouldn't get many championship points driving the way that the drivers are encouraged to drive at the moment. That was a nice little move there from Atsu, just closing the distance and squeezing Loop Racer against the wall. Going for that death by 1,000 cuts cumulative damage, I think, on the Alpine, but the Alpine bails to the pits. Might be able to action a small repair on that front wing and change tyres. Maybe feels like the intermediate tyres might be worth a shot here today. I'm just wondering if they actually are on intermediates. It looks like they're all on wets right now. Let's have a look. Some intermediate drivers actually, and there is Loop Racer changing onto inters for his run. Alpha Alex is trying to drive Mexico City, which is a high downforce due to the fact that the downforce has a lower effect at altitude without a front wing. So very, very interesting. GTK saying, sorry, can't make it. He's had to go to work. We don't like work interrupting league racing. GTK, that is not cool. But hopefully you'll be back with us for the next race, which is going to be on Saturday night, our usual slot. So this Saturday coming, same time, same place as always, of course, as Beyond a Bore and Betty have both been in the pits, and then we've got MC Huppy out there with Merck just pulling out of the pit lane. I think 2 consecutive lap pit stops through there. Director Milan trying to get the fastest lap at this stage. Do my eyes deceive me, or has the rain eased off a little bit as we see Floyd Pink up to no good, I'm sure, here, trying to second guess what the kick Sauber's going to do. Ends up hitting the wall himself. Alvar Alex has hit the wall now as well. Let's keep an eye out for Alvar Alex on board the McLaren. It's difficult to see when they make such giant jumps across the circuit, because if someone is wide on a corner that they happen to be cutting, it's pretty difficult to see. Let's keep our eyes peeled for where Alvar Alex is. As Ricky Maru says, Atsu is now lapping Merckx. and is surprised about it, given the run of form there. So take a picture. Alvar Alex must have been in the stadium somewhere as we got Atsu there approaching the Ferrari, and that's going to spell trouble now, because the Ferrari, with not much to lose, down in 11th position and possibly a lap down on the leader. I think he absolutely is on Milan. So Atsu has got to tread very, very carefully here, trying to sneak up behind the Ferrari. Where is that Ferrari? Is actually not waiting for Atsu, so Atsu can power down this main start-finish straight then at the moment, and be closing in on him soon. Here is then our leader, Milan, who is trying to navigate the V-carbs, and for so long the V-carbs were the bounty hunted, the championship leader. So we will see if Bjorn de Boer ends up back in the championship lead at the end of this race, or maybe it's even going to be Atsu or Ashtube. We shall see. Ashtube in 4th, Atsu in 2nd right now, as Milan tries to come through. He's now in a very uncomfortable sandwich position between the two V-carbs, who are looking to enact a fair amount of revenge, I would imagine, as he comes through. Ashtube, new fastest lap, took it away from Milan on that circulation lap 8 of 18. Almost hit the wall there, Milan, as he tries to find a way through past Bjorn. I'm assuming that's Bjorn and not Betty, but I shall wait and see confirmation as we go through here. Trying to get tucked up underneath the rear wing of the V-carb, take a different line through a very fast option here to take turn 1 and 2, and there's some fireworks going on. There's a McLaren the wrong way on the racetrack, causing trouble. Who would that be? Well, it can only be Floyd Pink here, who's doing his best to as the Haas of I think that's Atsu, just weaving around trying to look for an opportunity. Unfortunately, Floyd, you've kind of given the game away there on a high visibility part of the circuit. We saw in Vegas that the drivers managed to, that would look like a good turning defense into attack moment there from Milan on the Ferrari. We saw in Vegas that sometimes it's better to hide behind a blind corner and wipe drivers out by using the track map. Actually, we just passed a section there where they'd be coming at a marshal post at speed. I wonder now, will the Ferrari of Merckx have a go here at Milan? Rivals in racing elsewhere. Absolutely. Fastest lap from Loop Racer, 108.938 there, as the Ferrari is trying to get down the inside of the Mercedes of Milan. This is Merckx in the background, and we try to find some clear space. It looks like we've got someone else. It's still another McLaren playing around. Nike and Floyd have to be the absolute nightmare pairing for the rest of the grid, who I'm sure will have spent an unhealthy amount of time at planning how they're going to take people out in this race and conspiring against the other runners. So into turn 1 and 2, 3, heading down towards that now. Turn 6 as the Ferrari gets down the inside of the Mercedes. They'll go side by side. And you don't want to be alongside another driver for too long around here, because someone will try the old nudge into a nearby waiting wall. Down we go towards that stadium section. 3 cars all together. Milan in 1st, Merckx in 8th, and I think it's Bjorn de Boer in 7th. They're no strangers to being on track in close proximity to one another, for sure, these 3, and I think pretty good mates. Lap 10, and Milan decides he's had enough of trying to compete with that particular run, as Merckx, just behind Bjorn de Boer. Ashtube in the pits as well, and I'll see if I can't find one of our troublemakers on the start-finish line here. This is Floyd Pink. He's in the pits at the moment, getting some repairs, and I wonder, will he just flat-out turn around here on the start-finish straight, or is he looking for another chance, another place to have a go as Alpha Alex leaves us? And that's not the first time Alpha Alex has been in that situation, and he has completely DNF'd. So he's left the session and DNF'd. I thought he might just be temporarily ghosted. Here we go, some action. It's a bit gentle for our liking here at League of Destruction. We prefer a much bigger hits than this. Come on, let's have it. As Merck now chasing down Bjorn de Boer. There's a good opportunity going into the stadium here to straight line your rival as Bjorn de Boer second guesses him, breaks earlier, cuts back, and Mercked into 6th place. Bjorn de Boer living to fight another day as Ashtube is coming up behind the two of them now as well in the Red Bull. I wonder if we'll see any McLaren action soon. I think we probably will. Let's go down towards the back of the grid because Floyd is trying to take out anybody that dares to come anywhere near him on the circuit. And now he's got a V-car behind him and tried to fairly lazily sweep into the side of the driver of Betty, I think. And unfortunately did not manage to complete that one. So going for the kill as Nike has retired. Nike has retired coming out of the stadium, it seems. Have a look at this. There he is, and he's causing a big blockage. And he teleports away from everything. If I'm wondering, says Ollie, Topaz is Mika. I was wondering. Aha. So Topaz has not debuted with us today. He's just changed his name, which is very, very inconsiderate. People having different names, not mentioning anybody in particular. Son of Chuck Norris. But we wait for Atsu then, as Luke Bracer and Milan have just swapped places. I think one driver's coming out of the pits. This is then the battle for the lead of the race on lap 12. Fastest sector from Atsu as he tries to gingerly find a peaceable way past the Sauber of Mika and manages to complete that one very nicely. This race really coming towards Atsu here. So he's now completely and confidently in the lead of the race. Milan lost the lead, and he's down in the doldrums of the midfield, while Atsu trying to get ahead here. El Plan, I think, annoyed that he couldn't make it tonight, and wishes he was here to battle with us and defend. But Atsu, no, it will be a bit of a miracle if he manages to get into first position in the championship after this race, but hopefully collect some good points for the Haas team nonetheless. So heading on through, we've got an Alpine and waiting for some action here. Well, that's Floyd Pink out. That's second of the McLarens out. Floyd Pink out, and it looks like pretty much on his own, unfortunately. This is him riding on board the Alpine of MC Herpy. Alpine looking at 3rd and 4th at the moment, but Milan fairly close by as drivers just playing, the remaining drivers left in the field, actually playing this one pretty safe right now. And I think Atsu is far enough away from Topaz to actually make the move and be under attack. That they've removed nearly all of the big braking zones and the big closing speed sections of the of this race. So I wonder if we will see any kill attempts. Usually it's the last driver in the grid who goes for the kill. So we shall see if that bears out later in the race. But Topaz closing in again now to within half a second of Atsu. Topaz trying to get a really good lap together there. Nice little drift on out of turn 3. Of course, they don't really use turn 2 anymore on this configuration. So these trackside cameras in the slow sections are hilarious when the drivers just speed on through, and the sim has to kind of catch up and track the cars in a different way to what they're used to. So manoeuvring through, that's over the fast flowing section that takes us from turn 7 to turn 11, heading down towards the stadium now. The heavy braking zone of turn 12, and then cutting out the triangular shape inside the stadium. So all those fans who've paid to get a stadium environment seat are missing out a little bit on actual time to see the drivers. Atsu, new fastest lap, 107.989. Now let's see if Ashtube, who appears to be at the back of the grid at the moment, on the track at least, he's not trying to get anybody, and I think Betty is a whole lap down, and the entire length of the start-finish straight and half the length of the following straight separates first, second, and the rest of the grid. This is quite something, as Milan now goes fastest. Milan obviously had some damage because you don't have to pit for a change of tyres today. The rain has stopped in its tracks. Anybody left on wet tyres, I think, is going to be in trouble, and there's none of those. We've got MC Huppy and Merckx on the softs as Bjorn de Boer changes out onto soft tyres. Perhaps now thinking the only thing he can do is go for a fastest lap attempt, but everybody at the tail of the field coming in onto the pits to get some dry tyres on and go for a fastest lap attempt here with 3 laps to go in our 25% race. Remember, we still have Jeddah circuit to come, so we'll be enjoying that one very soon. So we're going to Saudi Arabia shortly. Half the grid on soft tyres now, half on intermediates. I wonder if they will be trying to finish this one out. That was Milan on MC Huppy. No, that was Milan on Bjorn de Boer, I think. Now he's lining up MC Huppy for an opportunity as he cuts into the pit lane. Doesn't need it on MC Huppy. Sorry, excuse me. That was actually Loop Racer who decided to cut across the track and head into the pit lane. So drivers who were together are getting gapped quite quickly. This is Merckx. DRS has now been enabled, so it's bone dry on the circuit. And that is Betty out there in the pit lane getting new dry tyres on. Just 3 cars left then with those tyres on. And now it's trouble for Atsu, who has to try and navigate a Red Bull who is not interested in making friends here on the race circuit. Red Bull tries to crash into Topaz, and I think Topaz is really struggling here to get past the Red Bull. Can he do it? Red Bull going into the pit lane, and that's Topaz Mika up into second. Well, staying in second, but clearing the Red Bull for now anyway. We'll see if the Red Bull decides to have an attack there into the next couple of corners. Will we just flat out go for it into turn 1? There's no faster way through than Topaz Mika has managed to go for. Let's see about turn 4, 5 and into 6. Is it going to be the same situation? We are getting pretty close. That's a good hit, but unfortunately everybody had slowed down so much that the closing speed just wasn't quite what we wanted. Greetings to Floydy here as they are trying to mate the 2 cars at the moment, going for a Red Bull Sauber. They've interlocked wheels, they've hit the wall, and I think both are still surviving this one. So getting on through. This is just opening the door then for Atsu to pick up the top points. Milan back into second place, still also on the intermediate tyres. Atsu out there has started his final lap of the race. As we see Ashtube still trying to play spoiler here and destroy other people's races. This is the Mercedes of, it can only be Milan trying to get through. Jessica just remarking on the poor weather here in Mexico. Absolutely correct. It is a shocker for Mexico City as we wait now to see. Ashtube tried this last time out. Can he do one better and actually take out the Mercedes that he failed to do on Topaz earlier on? Needs to just go absolutely kamikaze into turn 6, I think, and not touch the brake. So the Mercedes peeling to one side, just trying to straight line. That was a better hit. And is it a kill? It's not quite a kill. He's done his level best here. Now, the only rule we insist on for our drivers is that you don't pin another driver against the wall. And that's why he sort of backed out of that one. Here comes Atsu to cross the line and win in Mexico, our first race of night 4. Then we've got a melee situation happening down at the back of the grid here. I've got a Ferrari in the mix there. Two V-Carbs still trying to complete this one as the Alpine tries its best to nail the Mercedes into the Salesforce, the Ferrari into the Salesforce banner, but didn't quite achieve his aims. There goes Mika Topaz into second place with no front wing once again. Here comes Milan being sideswiped and taken out there by the Red Bull as MC Huppy steals third right at the death of the race. Milan across in fourth with Bjorn de Boer in fifth. Loop Race is sixth. We wait then for Merck to get your participation points as well as your finishing points here in League of Destruction. So I think we may have Bjorn de Boer back in the top of this one. Ashtube has crossed the line. Betty's crossed the line. It's the end of the first race of tonight. That was Betty in ninth position. And we shall see how the drivers qualify for the next race. Bjorn de Boer is the driver of the day. I think Jess is signing off. So we will see Jess next stream, hopefully. But then there we have Atsu celebrating. And I think, hopefully, Ricky will have a GG for Atsu in the live chat, because teammate has managed to secure the top points here from this League of Destruction race. Haas on the podium. Haas picking up the constructors winning trophy and champagne bottle as well. And well, wouldn't that be a turn up for the books one day if we get Haas, Alpine, and Kick Sauber on the top step on the podium? But anyway, there is Haas. Who gets that first position. Atsu's pretty happy with that one, I would imagine. So lapping Merckx would have to be a highlight of anybody's day. Atsu in first, Topaz Mika in second, with MC Huppy in third place. Milan was fourth in the end after qualifying on pole, with Bjorn de Boer in fifth with the fastest lap. So some nice points for Bjorn de Boer. And I think by the look of things, he will probably end up as the bounty, as the lead. Luke Racer, Merckx, Ashtu, Betty, Nike, Floyd Pink, Alpha Alex, and the rest of the order, as someone has clicked ready up too fast for me to read the rest of the post-race standings. And then I will let you know the latest standings, because Ricky will... I think part of the reason that Ricky finishes the races early is so that he can do the standings fast for us. So I'm sure that's why, and it's not a skill issue at all. We shall see. I'll give you some highlights from the driver chat room, but tell me your favourite incident or destruction moment from the race, if you will. And if you watch this back, drop a timestamp in a comment, and we will try and highlight that for everybody. As Bjorn de Boer is quite happy with the fifth and fastest lap. So, like I said, we're heading to Saudi Arabia for the Jeddah Corniche circuit next up. That is going to be a very interesting, very different place from Mexico City. Very little in the way of runoff areas for our drivers out there. As Atsu said, his favourite moment was crossing the finish line. That's like when a kid is asked what his favourite thing about school is, and they say home time or something like that, isn't it? So waiting for those standings, Ricky. We need some standings here, Rix, and he's just going to publish them. And Bjorn de Boer is going to be the leader of the championship again on 112 points, jumping up back into the lead. So there will be 15 points on Bjorn de Boer's head, or he can try and claim them himself. Alpha Alex has 110 in second place, very, very close, and close still is El Plan and Milan, joint third on 107 points. We have 105 for Ashtube in fifth. Bra has 94 in sixth place. Loop Racer is in seventh with 93. Atsu 86. Betty 73. Floyd and Merckx joint on 68, with Ultramise on 63 in 12th. We have MC Huppy on 61 in 13th place. We go down to 14th for Nike on 58. Carmad has 57. I haven't seen him yet today. Ricky is in 16th position on 56 points in his own league. And then we have Director Ollie in 17th on 55. Callum has 50 in 18th place. AJ has 19. AJ has 44 points and is in 19th place. And Mika has 39 in 20th. VCarb, though, lead the Constructors' Championship, which is where all the money gets sent. So I wonder if at the end of next week, whether we have a further bounty for the constructors to wipe out the VCarbs. But we shall discuss that and let you know. In second is Stake Sauber on 165 as the drivers are getting ready for qualifying. Mercedes 162 in third place with Aston Martin on 157 in fourth. Alpine have 154 points in fifth with Red Bull on 149 in sixth place. Haas have 142 in seventh. McLaren 126 in eighth. We have Williams 122. Ferrari now confirmed at the back of the grid on 107. And our reserve championship entrants have 78 totaled. So let's get ready for qualifying as we see whether the VCarbs will head that way. So we'll see if anybody goes to take them out. Alpha Alex being asked if he's around. So he just did the one race and then has bailed on us. Unfortunately, has another commitment. So we shall hope that things improve. Yes, absolutely. So my apologies if at any point I have referred to Betty by the wrong pronoun. Betty is a she, and I shall make sure that I get that right from now on. Betty very much is a female name here in the UK, but I don't like to assume when drivers are probably 99.9% male. But I have now checked that out. So just to correct any previous issues I may, offence or wrong impressions I may have caused. 6 seconds to go before we head to the paddock once again for that qualifying in Jeddah. And I'm looking forward to this one because this track is hard enough to drive in the dry, when respecting the rules. And corner cutting, as I said before, probably not a huge amount of an issue. And I can see drivers being shepherded or slammed into the walls here. And I hope that's what we're going to get with some big, spectacular action. Let's hope so. Okay. So 20 odd seconds left for our final race tonight. This is Jeddah, as I mentioned. I'll talk to you about Saturday night to come, 7th of December. We will be in Miami for another street circuit, and then we're going to go to Portimao in Portugal for the absolute season finale on Saturday night. As I said, remember to show up, same place, same time as usual, and drop your favourite clips, timestamps in the comments. Thanks to everyone who takes the time to like the video, and it's raining again. And I'm expecting Leo to now absolutely blow his top because he lasted all of about 12 seconds in the race and less than 2 seconds, I think, in qualifying. So it's a lot of preparation that can go right, only to last for a few seconds in a race. So I shall say, Bjorn looking nervous in the driver chat room with his GIF game. Yep, Leo is now full all caps and going for it. So we'll ride on board last race's winner, Atsu, for the time being anyway. I think they'll be able to shortcut part of turn 1 and 2. How was Beyond the Ball retired? Well, I think he's decided to start from the back here. But that hasn't always worked for him, as a bit of a slide goes into turn 1 and 2 for Atsu and gets overtaken straight away by the likes of Milan, Ricky Maru and Ashtube. We do have to slow down for some of these turns, it seems, as Ashtube is going very, very quickly indeed. Atsu has caught back up a little bit. Ashtube has obviously done some research here as we go through to finish out Sector 1 and be ruining all that fancy paintwork on the ground. Yeah, and the tarmac runoffs here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. No choice but to go through turn 13 as the rules intended. But Ashtube just a little bit exuberant on the power on the way out. I think we might be doing wet to dry again, just as an interesting challenge for the drivers through what is a tricky right-hand turn, and we brush the wall. And at these speeds, it won't take much contact with the wall to take yourself out of contention here. A little bit like a certain league owner managed in the previous race. This corner, I'm imagining drivers are going to push each other into the wall, and then of course we're just going to go all the way down to the final turn, the turn that was the scene of Verstappen's almost greatest moment of all time. And I got so tired of hearing about a lap that wasn't even green. But Ricky Moreau retires from the session just towards the end of the lap. But it looks like it's going to be Astube who manages to navigate the spray and get a 140.761, 2 seconds ahead of anybody else. So a great lap from Astube. He'll be hoping to convert that quickly. Excuse me for a moment there. One shot quali, of course, as we said. Ole saying, I hate the wet tyres. Let's just check. Did everybody use wet tyres? No, we had one intermediate runner in the middle of the group there. So it didn't really advantage or disadvantage that driver to go through. So that is Atsu on pole position. So I've done it again. It's Astube on pole position ahead of Director Ollie with El Plan and Topaz in third and fourth. Row 3 is Atsu and Milan, with row 4 being Nike and Betty. It was Nike on the intermediates, and they didn't really do a great deal of work for him. Row 5, Floyd Pink and MC Hoppy. Row 6, Leo and Ultramies, with Bra Merkt and Ricky Maru, Loop Racer, and our championship leader currently, Beyond the Ball, down in 17th position. Starting at the back of the grid, I think what I'm going to do is break with convention here and ride on board with one of the tail runners here, because I think we may see a slightly better view of any start line incidents and accidents as we get through the race. As El Plan's just chatting in here saying, sorry I didn't make it tonight, to his teammate. So no rear gunner for the team. I've only just noticed that extended podium shelter on just above the paddock. I'm not sure what they're sheltering them from. It's not a rainy circuit unless it's those mortar shells that were fired in year 1 of the Saudi Grand Prix that we saw in the distance. But we're getting ready for the race then. I'd love to hear your predictions. You're watching with us live. Give me your predictions as to who you think is going to win, get on the podium, or who can score the bounty on Bjorn de Boer's head here of 15 bonus points for a confirmed kill against him. We shall see. So I hope everyone's having fun tonight. We do plenty of serious racing, but this is a highlight for me because it's something very different to call. And we get to see, of course, those beautiful F1 cars be completely and totally destroyed by drivers being very, very naughty out there. Well, we already saw the Haas getting away slowly. This is Loop Racer trying to make the move as it looks like Bjorn de Boer. Has Bjorn de Boer actually been killed? He has not yet. As we run back through the order and see who's going to make the move. Bjorn de Boer is in 10th place right now, just in front of the McLarens, who do quite like a big smash, don't they? Bra has retired from the session. Bjorn de Boer has just about escaped that multi-car collision that occurred, and now Ricky Maru appears to be one of the rearmost drivers coming through here. El Plan is in the lead of the race, and he's got a feeling that he's just Betty in front. So Betty is accidentally targeted quite often because of Bjorn de Boer driving the same coloured car. We should probably have the multiplayer car as he manages to get through past MC Huppy. He was a little bit asleep there, I think, and just woke up as he was being passed by our championship leader, Bjorn de Boer, heading then down the middle of the track in towards the end of Sector 2 right now for the first lap of just 13. It's such a long track that we only have 13 laps here in Jeddah. It's such a high-speed circuit as well. Some trouble brewing here with the McLaren, with 2 Mercedes in front of him. This is Nike, and he has got Bjorn de Boer coming up behind him. We've got Atsu diving down the inside under El Plan there for the lead of the race potentially, but an unusual amount of close-running drivers. Oh, and that was El Plan out of the race, and he kind of triggered that himself. He sort of was the aggressor initially on the Haas, as then we've got Floyd Pink going for it against Bjorn de Boer. Can he get the bonus points? It's not quite there for him, unfortunately. He doesn't quite get the kill on Bjorn de Boer, but it wasn't for lack of trying there from Floyd. He's still giving it a go. He really wants those bonus points and the satisfaction as the Alpine gets caught up in the middle of it, and Bjorn de Boer is now just going to sit and wait and see if he can find a good way through. Bjorn de Boer is doing what he's done before and turning defense into attack, and actually he's going to avoid contact. I think he's trying to get back to the pit lane, but this is a risky strategy. We've got the El Plan car and the Topaz car. Both Kick Saubers are out of the race. Astonishing situation, and that's Atsu out of the race now as well. And where did that take place? Atsu on the exit of turn 16-17 sequence there, as we come up towards where that car should be now. I didn't see it, unfortunately. It must have disappeared before we got there. So that's unfortunate for Atsu. That's both. That's 2 races, 2 Haas's out. And this is Bjorn de Boer, who has managed to retire and crash into Loop Racer, who is doing some fairly funny tricks there on the circuit. This is riding with Bjorn de Boer. It's got rear gunner Betty directly behind. So Bjorn and Betty probably going to be chatting about this, and Bjorn saying, "Come on, I need someone behind me now. You've got to protect my rear. I'm going to go into the pits, get this front wing repaired." Atsu, Loop Racer, El Plan, Topaz, Bra, Ashtube, Leo, and Merckx out before the end of lap 3. And there's Milan out as well from 2nd position, and it looks like MC Huppy as well. An absolute melee down into the next few corners. Let's head that way and see what that situation looks like. Oh, the drivers have all retired before we get there. We're going to go through the left-hander of turn 6 and 7, and then we should see quite a bit of debris on the exit of that corner. There it all is, look. And unfortunately for them, we are now down to 4 drivers, and we've got 10 more laps to go, as one of those drivers is championship leading Bjorn de Boer down in 7th, just new nose being fitted, I should say, on the V-carb. And we have dry conditions for this race, but that does mean that should be a good payday for V-carb once again, who lead the championship. And it seems like Betty's been able to manage this unscathed for now. So we have Floyd Pink in 2nd position. Lots of people, sorry not sorry, is a quote I've just seen in the driver chat room, which we like to see, as it was Merckx saying that was amazing as he goes through and retires. But 4 drivers left. This is quite a shambles here, but exactly what I suppose we booked and ordered. Betty just 3 seconds away from the solo McLaren of now just Floyd Pink out there, who tried to get Betty but failed, unfortunately. Fastest lap for Ole, who's in the lead by 33.5 seconds. Ole completely on his own on the track. We'll see if Floyd Pink decides to have a go here. And we got Nike saying he saw Atsu in his mirror just fly off and a wheel go in the opposite direction for a moment there. Merckx saying to Ricky and Ultramees that they're both legends for what they've done. Fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Just what we want to be, what we want to be seeing, and try and link in any driver POVs to the accidents. Here then is Floyd Pink, just 4.2 seconds away from Betty, and planning to just cruise around, I think, and wait for Bjorn de Boer, who he now knows is the car behind him. But I'm concerned now that we have very few drivers remaining, and I wonder if we ought to do a controlled reset and have another 5-lap race or something, and while everybody's still in the lobby. Although I think people are going to be disappearing on us slowly but surely. Now, this is Floyd Pink going pretty slowly into turn 1 and 2 and lying in wait here for Bjorn de Boer. Will we see a good crash? And Bjorn almost turning into the wall to avoid Floyd Pink. So that's good. Now Floyd is heading in entirely the opposite direction to the racetrack. We'll have to ride on board with him, unfortunately, because the cameras can't pick him up as he's heading towards Ole. Oh, wow. Excellent work from Floyd. Absolutely brilliant. That was within a hair's breadth of taking out the race leader. Unfortunately, couldn't control the car afterwards and took himself out. Oh dear me. Sorry about that. We're down to 3 drivers as I just see a Leo clip of he kind of got hit straight in the halo by his own tyre. So that's brilliant. Bjorn de Boer then is in third. Ollie on his own in first position, 39 seconds in the lead of the race as we pass by a bunch of debris, and the VCARB team hold out the sign for him. Floyd enjoyed that one for sure. It was great. It was so nearly. I think you were closer, Floydie, to a kill there than Verstappen was to that lap in the end. So you're in great company and should be lauded just as much, I think, as the lap that ever was. As Ricky is enjoying the fact that there are only 3 cars left in the race. I'm not so much, but what on earth? So Bjorn is playing hide and seek, I think, here. Going to reverse in towards that Marshall station. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to achieve. I thought he was going to go and hide into the next corner, but why would you take yourself out? Just for fun? I think it might be just for fun. Oh, it's very close. I wonder if Ollie managed to hold the car. He did. So Ollie leading the race. Bjorn de Boer in third place right now, and should be able to get his own bonus points. I wonder if the VCARBs will pick up a 1-2 here. They're currently on for a double podium. No one can stop that from happening. But currently we've got Betty waiting out there on the final corner. Now Betty has Betty seen that Marshall's post and thinks it'd be a great place to just sit and then reverse down the track? No, Betty's going all the way down the track here. She's got nothing to lose, has Betty. And yeah, just going to hold position, I think. Keep an eye on that position. There's not really anywhere for for Ollie to go, but he found a gap. I will never know how Ollie is finding these gaps. So he is driving the thinnest Mercedes I think there ever has been. So Leo saying simply lovely here for there being 3 drivers remaining on track. This may be the situation if Russell and Verstappen get their way in Abu Dhabi. They may be on the warpath this weekend. So 54 and 56 seconds respectively are our gaps right now. Betty is lying in wait and going for it. I'm kind of watching other drivers' little clips here in the live chat. Webbo asking, ask Betty to kill Ollie so we can go home. Then we can retire the cars. So Betty, this is Webbo. Please retire the car. Please crash into Mercedes. Don't make Ole's life any easier than you need to. Now, trying to find the narrowest section of the track here, Betty, and trying to I'm trying to get a good view of how little room there is left for him to come through. And I think make contact. Oh, not quite. No, I think there was a bit of a crunch, but I think that might have been Betty going into the barrier. He needs to get out of the way pretty quickly because Bjorn was coming through as well. And I wonder if we had Bjorn crashing into Betty and ending up with that 2-3 instead of a 1-2, which is, of course, the aim overall. Lap 7 of 13 sees Ole leading by 54.6 seconds. I can't seem to load Atsu's latest clip. Oh, here it comes. I'm going to see. We've got 3 cars side by side, and they were just queuing up and waiting. That was a brilliant clip. Absolutely brilliant from Atsu. So yeah, hopefully he will publish that, or I can link to that from the comments in this video, because very, very cool to see the 5-car melee as they all decided to do the same thing. But at the moment, at least, waiting then currently for the race to be over, as I think, is that Bjorn waiting? No, Bjorn is going in the opposite direction, try and take out Ollie here. He just needs to get past these very annoying cars who keep trying to kill him and secure the... But if this happens, boom! Now you're talking. How? I swear Ole has got some sort of vibranium front wing and construction on this car. How has he just survived another head-on incident with a V-carb? That's insane. The V-carbs are coming together again. What's going on here? Okay, I think just avoiding each other right now. So here comes Ole once again, and heading down the start-finish straight, I imagine going into the pits. Yes, indeed. So some new parts fitted to the Mercedes. Thankfully, there's a larger spare parts department than the Williams team, and on they go with the front wing, heading on out of the pit lane. Now I wonder whether the pit lane exit, here we go, I know that another driver has tried this before and wiped themselves out, so we're waiting for Ollie to appear, and well, he's just fixed that front wing. There's really nowhere to go, so he's going to have to left or right, and he goes past as Betty unlaps herself. Maximum points, almost maximum points coming for the RB team, and that's now Bjorn de Boer, who's just going to try and catch, I think, no, I was going to say try and catch Ole on merit, and no, that's not what's happening at all. So Betty now has Ole coming up behind her. We will see if there is anything happening then in this challenge. So heading down into turn 13, lap 9 of 13, as they just can't kill him. And no one has got those bonus points. But I think if Ole were to be wiped out by Bjorn de Boer, could he then make a claim for those 15 bounty points, I wonder? As contact caused the demise of our championship leader. I don't know if we've thought about in the rulebook whether it has to be clear aggression or just race-ending contact. So this is Betty. Is Betty going to sort of find a way to just block the track here for Ole and use Bjorn de Boer alongside? But if they queue up along the start-finish straight, of course, Bjorn has the option of going into the pit lane, so and missing them out entirely. So it's not the best place. So we have a start-finish straight covered in debris once again. This is Betty then trying to find a good place to attack Ole, who goes into the pits again for another front wing. It didn't last very long. A couple of yards out of the pit lane exit for Ole is all he managed. And both V-carbs, I think, have arrived. We can't see them on the circuit, but they've both arrived. Oh, did he just do a reset to track? Oh, that was pretty good stuff. So they're waiting for him on the pit lane exit, and he's done a perfect reset to track. Oh, that was very, very cheeky. He's got a lap to himself now to run around, or maybe half a lap if they decide to go the wrong way and chase. They're going to pincer him here. One from behind, one from in front. So that's going to be another new tactic. So if he starts to slow down, thinking that there's a car coming, he's approaching a car going the wrong way, there's another car coming up behind him to kind of squeeze him. And that's a good maneuver. I like the pincer operation here for VCarb. But can they actually make it work, I wonder? Make this a 1-2 in the end. As Ricky says, if Ole dies, VCarb don't have to finish the race. Indeed. And if anything, I would imagine that they'd rather the points went by way of Betty rather than Bjorn. Now, they didn't manage to slow themselves down there. Betty's gone through to continue this pincer movement, so we're going to have to wait another half a lap or so for Bjorn to find a very narrow portion of the racetrack that Ole cannot reset around. That was brilliant manoeuvre from Ole there to reset to track on the way, and he goes into the pits as well. So Betty is... Well, I thought Betty was going to follow and make sure there's no avoiding here. What's Ole doing? He's out there. We'll see if he does another reset, shall we? But he's got one driver off his tail. Will he now reset again? He's keeping an eye on where Betty is hanging out. So on his way out. Is he going to do it again? He's reversing down the pit lane and he's back to another reset. It gives him a wider angle on the way into turn 1 and 2 as Betty closes things down, and that was mighty close. Another really close call, but another fantastic operation there from Ole, who now has to navigate past Bjorn de Boer coming at him the wrong way. Bjorn is in third, so VCarb would rather spread the points out to Betty than Bjorn, because Bjorn obviously leads the championship and continues to have the bounty on his head, and that is causing issues for him and nightmares and lost sleep, I'm sure, as he hears the Jaws theme tune playing in his ears when he starts racing here at League of Destruction, if you can call this racing. It's lap 11 of 13, and the net effect here is not only have VCarb failed to kill Ole, but we're actually having a longer race as a result because of all the slowdowns and resets and pit lane entrances. Now, there they are, gathering once again, the VCarb team. Where are we? We're just hanging out at the pit lane exit. Now we're going down the start-finish straight, trying to decide what the best position is. But start-finish straight is not a good position, I've got to say. And here we go. Back, take 4 of VCarb versus Ole manoeuvre here. It's good. Oh, yes, they've done it. There goes the wheel on Ole. It was a great move from Bjorn in the end, and he's celebrating. You don't see donuts after a crash out situation there, but Betty very pleased, I think, as well. But they really absolutely love it. Ole is complaining about his rear, and they retire, so that's how things are going to happen. So brilliant stuff. Congrats to VCarb, who will extend their lead. And I think we should have a double bounty on both their heads for their final race, because otherwise they're going to walk away with this championship and the prize pot. So up to the top step. Betty takes home the win. Sorry, that is... Why have they given it to Ole? Guys, you didn't unlap yourselves from Ole. We got a problem here, folks, because I think Ole takes the win because they didn't unlap themselves. So they have been classified second and third despite the kill we were all waiting for. That's pretty huge. Let's see. Ricky telling them to retire, but I think that was wrong advice or advice that was slightly early. Well, I think by my calculations anyway, they finished. Unfortunately, they've cleared out the lobby. I'm all on my own in the lobby here, so I haven't got the result. Floydie's saying they're still driving. Well, so the lobby has ended. Lobby glitched. Okay. Phew. That's a relief. All right. Okay. I think I crashed. I don't know how many points people get for knocking me out of the race, but there you go. So hopefully they will get themselves their points and manage to save it. But I'll see if Ricky manages to do new new standings for us. Someone's tagged me and I can't read it in the driver chat, but I don't know if we're going to get new standings before I finish the stream. But that was really entertaining, nonetheless. Really, really good. Floydie saying crashing was brilliant. Yes, it is League of Destruction, and not least the fact that I'm now on my own in my own little lobby, sitting in the VIP section here. So, Ricky, you have to let me know quickly. Are you doing standings or are you not doing standings? Ollie got fastest lap, apparently. So he's got a lot of work to do, Ricky, to get those standings together. Hopefully he's stayed in the comments. I'm getting 15 seconds, apparently, says Ricky. 15 seconds for the for the team standings, maybe. Okay, I'll hang on. I'll hang on for them. But Betty ain't TS topping. You're gonna have to help me with that one, Floydie. Don't speak drunk this time of night. Try and just translate that one for me. But yeah, we're just waiting on those standings. So I think they're on their way. Loop Racer opining that Beyond Boar's car is made of bedrock. And so I did say vibranium. I think it might make for a slightly better one. Betty's not stopping. Okay. So she's just happy out there. She's got the podium. I think we'll get the win. I think enjoying it out there, and why not? So the net result of all of this means that Beyond the Board extends his lead at the Drivers' Championship, and VCarb extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. There are now 47 points separating VCarb from the rest of the prize pot. Mercedes 199, Aston Martin 187, Alpine 178, Stake Sauber 172. Beyond the Board leads on 148 points from Milan on 121. Bra has 115. We have joint fourth, Ashtube and Alpha Alex. El Plan, no showing tonight, 107. Loop Racer, 104. Betty up to joint eighth with Atsu on 98 points. Brilliant stuff. Well, thanks everybody for your attention. Thanks for joining us for tonight's action. I'm going to call it action rather than a race or a Grand Prix. We'll be back in 2 nights' time for the finale of our little second season here at League of Destruction. I hope you're enjoying it. I am. Join us at 8 p.m. UK, at 7 p.m. UK, get it right, on the channel. But I'm sure everyone has subscribed by now, and they'll get notified when we go live. Anyway, speak to you later, and thanks everybody. Great evening of racing. I will catch you on the next race day.